My name's Trey Hill, and I currently run Harborview Farms with my father. We're partners. We're on the eastern shore of Maryland. We're directly across the Chesapeake Bay from Baltimore City, and we till about 40 miles north of here to about 40 miles south. We're kind of typical farmers. We're corn, wheat, soybeans. We run Case and John Deere equipment. The wheat is winter wheat that we harvest in late June, and then we double crop soybeans into. We're probably about the same latitude as like a southern Indiana, northern Kentucky. We kind of run in that track with the GDUs and stuff. We've been using cover crops for probably 20 years and varying degrees of implementation. We started small with like the equip programs and doing like 300 or 400 acres a year, then killing them off. And now the last 2 to 3 years, we're probably 100% cover cropped, you know, depending on what we can get done in the fall. This year, we're definitely 100. That was kind of my goal to achieve that. And for our experience, we typically use barley because it's the least expensive. It's a good cereal, it's a good scavenger. As the season progresses, as we get into later fall, we switch to wheat. We find that wheat does better when it's colder in terms of germination and growth. And then we're also experimenting with some cereal rye and some triticale, and then we're trying to figure out, I guess our big transition the last 3 years is we used to always kill everything off in March. We have a state program that's similar to equip, and you have to terminate all your cover crops. So we always kind of race to get that done. Now we've since switched gears due to a couple challenges we had where we didn't get field sprayed or we spread a headland and not the interior of the field. We've now made it a goal to plant them green, to where this year we're like 90% planted green. My big concern was if we got a really wet spring, what kind of mess would I have? And I'm fortunate that this year's been the wettest spring in the history of the state of Maryland. I think we've had rain like 19 out of 21 days for the month of May. We haven't done anything in May. So we planted everything in the last 2 weeks of April, or actually I planted 3 fields March 27th, and then it got cold, frosty. We planted it green, beautiful stand. It's at 5 leaf, it looks great. It survived several frosts, 2 weeks of cold weather. It looks terrific, and I attribute that to planting it green. The thing I was missing was when I was killing it off early, I always have struggled with getting my no-till to match my conventional ground. I come from a farm of plowing people. I mean, my father is, you plowed until the field was perfect and you did everything right, and that's the way you did it and that's the way you farm. And I believe that was the best, most responsible thing to do at the time. Now that we're doing this, I still couldn't ever quite get it to match up. We'd still take our best fields and conventionally till them because we weren't getting the yields, and I think it was based on emergence. So now that I'm planting into it green, I'm getting much more even stands. My soil organic matter is growing. I've got much better earthworms than I've ever had. Last year was the first year I've ever had my no-till beat my conventional in yields. And we're much better conventional farmers than we are no-tillers. So he's actually become a believer in it, which he's always kind of my truth tester. I'm always looking, people think I'm a little crazy just because we're planting into stuff that looks like this, and I know it's not conventional. I know it doesn't look right. It doesn't look correct. But I'm like, well, if I can get my father to run a planter and plant into, headed out barley and be happy with the job the planter's doing, the way it plants, all the fundamentals of farming, and then he's happy when we're combining and the yields are better than where we conventionally tilled, I'm like, well, that's, wish I'd done it sooner.